Sometimes anxiety doesn't feel like anxiety, it feels like nothing at all. Like fog, like a flatness you can't quite name, like watching your own life from behind glass. If that's familiar to you, this video is for you. Most conversations about anxiety focus on activation, on the racing heart, the tight chest, the sweat, the thoughts that won't stop. And those are real, and they affect a lot of people. But there's another response your nervous system can have to threat that gets talked about much less, and it doesn't look anxious at all from the outside. It might not even feel anxious from the inside. It's called the freeze response. You've probably heard people say fight or flight. What you've heard less often is fight, flight, or freeze. Freeze is the third option. It's what happens when fight and flight don't seem available. When the threat is too big or too overwhelming, or you can't tell where it's coming from. Or when, somewhere in your past, your body learned that fighting and fleeing weren't safe, and shut down was the only response that worked. When your nervous system goes into freeze, you don't feel activated. You feel powered down. You might feel numb, heavy, distant, disconnected from your own body. You might find yourself scrolling for hours and not remembering what you saw. You might be physically present in a conversation but feel like you're behind a pane of glass. You might wonder why you can't seem to start anything, why you feel nothing about things that should make you feel something. This is your nervous system doing its job, not malfunctioning, doing exactly what it learned to do. To understand freeze, you have to understand a part of your nervous system called the vagus nerve, and a framework called Polyvagal Theory. I want to be careful here. Polyvagal Theory was developed by Stephen Porges, and while parts of it are well supported and parts are still actively debated by researchers, the basic framework has become enormously useful for understanding nervous system states. So I'll explain it as a framework, not as undisputed fact. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve coming out of your brain. It wanders through your throat, your chest, your gut. It connects your brain to most of your major organs. And according to polyvagal theory, it has two main pathways with very different jobs. The first is called the ventral vagal pathway. It's the newer one in evolutionary terms. It's online when you feel safe, connected, curious, engaged. When your ventral vagal system is running things, you can make eye contact comfortably, your face is expressive, you can listen without bracing. The second is called the dorsal vagal pathway. It's much older. It evolved long before mammals. It's the system that runs in fish and reptiles when they go still in the face of overwhelming threat. And it's the system that takes over in humans when fight and flight have either failed or never seemed possible. When dorsal vagal activates, your body essentially powers down. Your heart rate drops. Your breathing gets shallow. Your blood pressure drops. Your sense of time distorts. Your connection to your own body fades. This is, in evolutionary terms, brilliant engineering. If a threat is so overwhelming that you can't outrun it or outfight it, sometimes the next best survival strategy is to become as still and unreactive as possible. Some animals do this literally. Possums famously go limp. In humans, it shows up as numbness, dissociation, freeze. The catch is, like fight or flight, freeze was designed for brief threats. It was supposed to fire, get you through the moment, and then power back up. When it stays on chronically, when freeze becomes your default state because the conditions of your life or your past taught your body that this was the safest option, you start to live in a kind of subdued half-presence. Things don't quite reach you. Joy is muted. Pain is muted. Time blurs. If any of that sounds familiar, you are not broken. Your nervous system is doing exactly what it learned to do. The work is teaching it that something else is possible now. Coming out of freeze isn't done the same way as coming out of activation. Activation needs slowing down. Freeze needs gentle waking up. And the operative word is gentle. If you push hard against the frozen nervous system, it tends to brace harder. The way out is small. Here are 3 things that genuinely help. First, small movement. Not exercise, not a workout, just movement. Wiggle your toes. Stretch your arms above your head. Stand up and walk to a different room. Roll your shoulders back. The point isn't to burn calories, it's to remind your body it's there. Movement is a signal to the nervous system that you are still alive and still in this world. Second, Sensory input. Cold water on your face. A warm cup of tea you can hold in both hands. The texture of fabric you can touch deliberately. Loud music briefly. Something with smell, a slice of citrus, an essential oil. The point is to give your senses something concrete to register, which pulls awareness back into the body. Third, naming what you can see. Look around the room and name 5 things out loud. The lamp, the plant, the coffee cup, the window frame, the dust on the bookshelf. This activates your prefrontal cortex, which gently brings the rest of your brain back online. The thing about coming out of freeze is that it's usually not dramatic. You won't suddenly feel great, you'll feel a little more present, a little more aware of your body, a little more here. That's enough. Done repeatedly over time, it teaches your nervous system that it's safe to stay this present more of the time. If freeze is one end of the nervous system spectrum, the other end is full activation. And the most extreme version of activation is something a lot of people experience but very few understand. It's called a panic attack, and it feels like dying. It isn't. And once you understand what's actually happening in your body during one, you have a chance of getting through it without that terror. The full breakdown is in my next video. Links on screen. Take care of yourself. I'll see you there.